Hi, Adrienne Weldon, Market Center Tech Trainer for Keller Williams of Central Pennsylvania here. I want to share with you a couple calendar hacks, tips and tricks that I like to use inside the G Suite world that I think might be of use to you as well. And so let's go ahead and just dive right in. When you are in your Google Calendar, keep in mind that there are lots of shortcuts you can use utilizing your keyboard. In order to find out what they are, you can simply hit Shift and the question mark button when you're in your Google Calendar, and that will bring up a menu of shortcut buttons that you can use on your keyboard. So take full advantage of that if that's helpful to you. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the notion of a color coordinated calendar. I realize that a lot of you might use the color coding feature in multiple different ways. I'll just show you a little bit of how I use it along with the way that I get some insight into my schedule that shows me where I'm spending the majority of my time. We're also going to look at how we can take meeting notes within a calendar appointment, and we're going to talk a little bit about time blocking in the KW world. We know that's very important, and how we can use our time block in our calendar to get some things done. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about color coding. When we are in our calendar, we have lots of different opportunities how we can view the calendar. So I'd like to just take a look here. Without a weekend, there's not much happening on the weekends in my work world that I need to be concerned about. So I have my week up in front of me, and you'll notice there's lots of different colors happening on this calendar right now. As someone who maintains the front desk calendar, the conference room calendars, as well as my own personal calendars, I have a lot of calendars going on here, and that's okay. The color coding definitely helps to keep them organized. The way that I use the color coding in my own personal calendar, how do I just have my own personal calendar up? Well, I can simply come over here and just uncheck anything that isn't my work calendar. Right now, I just don't want to look at anybody else's calendar. I don't care what else is going on in the rest of the world. I just need to see my calendar right now. And so inside this world, I have all of these up. And you'll see I have some dark blues. That seems to be a common color. Some red seems to be a common color. There's some yellows that is a common color. And so I want to show you how I utilize these. Anytime I put something on my calendar, I give it a color. And here are my color codes. If it shows up in green, for me, that's an operational category. So it has something to do with the operations of the market center that I'll be spending time with that task or with that meeting. I also have one for recruiting. My blues are my recruitings. Yellows are something that is professional development, maybe something that I'm getting trained in or on. I have red as tech training. Purple is onboarding, and the salmon color as support. So Brittany's class that's coming up, the Savers, Way to Transform Your Life, for me, that's going to be a professional development category. I'm really excited about that class. So I have that coded as yellow. Why? What's the benefit of doing this? Well, Google gives us this really great tool over here on the left-hand side, and it's called Time Insights. And if I click on this More Insights button, it pops out a little chart over on the right-hand side, and it will tell us where is the majority of your time being spent. So if you categorize your calendar, maybe you have one color that's going to be for listing responsibilities and one color that's going to be for buyer's responsibilities. You could with relative ease. You could actually look and see how much time am I spending with listings? How much time am I spending with buyers? So if I look at this for the view that I'm looking at for this week, it appears right now that I have about 2 hours set up in operations. I have about 7.5 hours I'm going to be spending in recruiting. Professional development, it has 0 hours, and that happens to be because these invitations, I think, are coming from someone else's calendar. It's not something I actually put on mine. My reds, my tech trainings, you can see where I'm spending time this week doing tech training, onboarding, support, as well as default. So at the end of a month, if my team wanted to know, Adrian, how much time are you actually spending working on technology training for the market center? If I've followed my calendar, I have a relatively good idea. I've spent 10 hours, I've spent 20 hours, I've spent 25 hours. And I think you can also utilize this in the same way that if you want to keep track of your personal versus your work obligations, it would be really interesting to categorize them out that way as well. And just make sure, do I have a healthy work life balance happening? And so this time insights tool, I think, is just a really cool resource that we can use to sort of just check ourselves and keep track of where are we spending the majority of our time. The next thing I want to talk to you about is something called meeting notes. Oftentimes, we go into meetings, we need to have agendas, we need to have sort of a tracking system for what did we talk about, what needs to come from this meeting, what action items need to happen. And also maybe it's a recurring meeting. So next week, boy, it'd be great if we had at our fingertips, what did we talk about at the last meeting? So by utilizing the meeting notes inside of our appointments, we can do this with relatively quickly. So I'm just going to create a meeting here called testing. And when I am in this appointment, you have to have it created first. It won't give you the option of the meeting notes when you're creating the initial meeting. Okay, so just hear me on that. Once you have it created, you're going to go back into it. And down here where we would normally put a description, maybe, this is where we would have, if there's a Zoom link available, we might have the Zoom link there. If there's something that people need to come prepared to the meeting with, we might, have notes there. Make sure you bring your multi-year trend reports, whatever it is that's necessary. But right above that, there is this button called Create Meeting Notes. And the cool thing is, another little caveat, when you create them, you must save the appointment first, then go back into it, and then there will be meeting notes you'll be able to click on. There they are. So when we go into the meeting notes, we can see that Google, in all of its brilliance, has already made a note of what the date is, what the name of this particular meeting is, who are the attendees. So if I had sent this out to multiple people to be invited to this meeting and they replied yes, their names would actually already appear on this agenda as being in attendance at the meeting. We have a notes section where we can keep track of everything that's been discussed, and we can have an action item section where we can actually check off things that get done as they get done before our next meeting. I just think this feature is really cool. I think about a lot of different ways that we can utilize this, not just in our professional world, but also in our personal world, anywhere we volunteer. If you find yourself in recurring meeting situations and just trying to keep track of who needs to do what, who's taking care of what, I just think that this notes feature inside the appointment is just a great resource and a great tool that we can use. Okay, the last little tool that I want to talk to you about is going to be back inside of our calendar. I want to show you a really cool way that we can work with time blocking So in the KW world, we like to talk about time blocking a whole bunch and how it just sort of helps keep us focused and on track. We always want to do the most important thing first, right? Get up, um, get it done, get the hard stuff out of the way first thing. So we actually have the ability, you can see that I have, bear with me one second here. I need to switch over to my other calendar. Okay, so I am in my personal work calendar, and we can see that I have time blocked right now to do videos. And I'm sticking to that, which is really great. So, inside of our time block world, we can actually overlay tasks. So if you know that you need to create some marketing materials, or you know that you need to watch some training videos, you very easily could create a time block. Let's say today at 12, you want to create a time block that says training videos. You want to watch some training videos that the Market Center has put out. And let's say you're going to give yourself an hour to get that completed. But you also know that there's maybe 6 or 7 different videos that you actually would like to watch in this time frame. You can absolutely come into this and you could type them right down here. You could list out all the videos that you'd like to watch. I happen to be a person, I work really well when I have checklists. I get great satisfaction off of being able to check things off of my list. So inside your training videos time block here from 12 to 1, we can actually create a task. What time do we want to do it? We can do it today at 12. And we want to watch the Gmail hack video. You'll notice that I've clicked over here, task. That's going to show it in my calendar as a task and give me the opportunity to check it off when it's complete. Otherwise, if it was an event, it's just going to show up like a regular calendar appointment, which is fine too. It just doesn't give you that ability to check it off your list. So now training videos, I know the first one I want to do at 12 is I want to watch that Gmail hacks video. Then I can create another task. And let's say at 12:15, I want to watch the Google Calendar video. It's a task, so it's going to give me the option to check it off. I want to do that at 12:15. I'm going to save that. So 12 o'clock rolls around, we can actually see training videos. Which ones do I want to do? Oh, I wanted to watch the Gmail hacks and I wanted to watch the Google Calendar video. After I've done that, I can mark them complete. I get that satisfaction of checking it off my list. I can still see the task, so I know what I have accomplished. And now my time block has very specific items in it that I want to accomplish. I can check them off as I accomplish them, and my time blocked time, it feels very productive. I feel very accomplished, and I can go on about my day. So these are just some of the ways that I like to utilize the calendar features that Google provides us, and I hope that these features were helpful to you as well. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.